Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to Popternative. This is the talk show and podcast where we have digital discussions, worlds of TV, film, music, pop culture, lifestyle, everything really. Depending on the guest, we talk about it all. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. On social media, you know me as PD Beats. My guest is an actor. You will soon recognize him coming out May 7th in The Waterman. Lonnie Chavis is with us. Lonnie, welcome to Popternative.
Thank you so much for having me.
I just wanted to say I really enjoyed this film. It was so much fun from the beginning to the end of the film. For you specifically, just overall, what was it like working on a film like this, man?
It was awesome, man, especially with the production. Everybody treated each other with kindness. It was just so awesome throughout the whole film.
Absolutely. There's a lot of components at play in this. There's the adventure aspect of it. Of course, there's the family component as well. For you specifically working in this film, what component kind of stands out to you in terms of like importance or kind of resonates over others? Or are they all equal, like the adventure, the family component?
They're kind of equal to me, but something that stands out the most might be the love in the film, you know? I mean, there's so many things that Gunnar has to go through. He gets chased by horses, you know, he has to climb on top of a log, but he doesn't stop. That's how far he's willing to go for the people that he loves, especially.
Absolutely. That part, yeah, I was about to say that part was that the horses scene, chasing by the horses, was like, oh my God,
You
what's happening?
know something funny?
Yeah.
Those horses were real, by the way.
Oh, really?
A lot of people think that they were fake. Those horses were actually real. I had to be strapped onto the back of the dune buggy, and they strapped me up to make it look like I was running. But before that, I did not know that those horses were going to be real. I thought it was going to be CGI. So Mr. David said action, and then he said cue the horses. I was like, what? And I looked behind me, and I saw the horses. In that scene, when you look in my face, that's real fear. None of that was acting. That is real fear.
It's obviously in the script. Would like when that was in the script, when you're reading it, did that caught you off guard too about the horses? Like when you're reading the script?
Yeah, when I read it, it kind of caught me off guard. I was like, oh, that's so cool. All the magic of the waterman. And I was like, horses. What's this about?
The bugs, I'm hoping, weren't real because those bugs freaked me out.
Okay, the bugs weren't real when I was sliding down, but they were real when I actually met the waterman.
Oh, man.
Here's the thing. They're called Madagascar hissing cockroaches, and when you touch them, they're supposed to hiss. So I remember when I was walking in, I heard hissing, and I was like, that's snakes? I had looked at them, and they're huge. They're like this big. They're huge. They're massive in real life.
I know. There's a lot of growth for Gunnar in this film from the beginning of the film to the end. You see it kind of. What was that like kind of playing a role like this where from top to bottom, there's just so much growth with Gunnar, Lonnie?
100%. I mean, this role was challenging me in so ways. In that log scene, I was actually afraid of heights at the time. So it was really hard for me to take over that scene. And my mom tried to calm me down, but I was just like, I don't want to do it. I can't do it. I'm too afraid. And then Mr. David came to me and he got me in the mindset of Gunnar and reminded me why he's doing this. He's doing this for the love and the passion that he has for his mom. And like in that horses scene, I honestly did not want to do that either because we had to do a second take of that.
We keep going back to the horses. This interview is being like taken over by the horses.
Honestly, the horses just taking over this whole interview.
It is amazing. What was this project like compared to other projects you worked on in the past, like This Is Us and White Famous for you? Is your mindset kind of changed for a movie like this? This is an adventure movie. It's big scale. David Rosario, it's amazing. What was that like, that mindset going in, making this movie compared to other TV projects you've done in the past?
Well, from my perspective, when you watch a movie like this, you think, oh, it must have been so fun to film that. It was, but it was very, very challenging.
Yeah.
There were so many there were so many character traits that I had to portray for Gunnar. There were so many challenges that I had to overcome for myself. And they honestly made me better as an actor. And by the way, the woods, there were so many biomes that we had to come through. It was so many hot some days. It was so many cold some days. It was raining some days. I mean, there were lots of things we had to go through. It was pretty difficult.
David wore many hats on this. He's obviously starring as your father in this film, but of course, this is his directorial debut. What was it kind of working with him from the acting perspective and then the director perspective, Lonnie?
It was honestly amazing. You know, when you think of somebody that's an actor and a director of a movie, you think that it's going to be hard for them because they have to worry about the camera angles, they have to worry about other people's makeup. I was worried about his makeup, their lines, his lines, their costume, his costume. But Mr. David never ever bumped the transition. He did everything smoothly and he did everything very patiently. On the first day, he gathered us in a circle and we all prayed and we're saying that we're going to do this with kindness. We're going to treat everybody how we want to be treated. And that's exactly what we did throughout the whole entire movie.
Did seeing him kind of wear many hats on this, like directing and acting as well? I mean, you're focusing on acting right now, but in the entertainment industry, a lot of people wear many hats. They go behind the camera as well. Did that kind of motivate you or inspire you maybe to one day direct as well, Lonnie?
100%. I think I might come out with my own director debut one day, I mean, Mr. David has definitely inspired me. I've always wanted to be a director from a while ago. And
absolutely. This is the $1 million question though. I mean, will there be horses in your film?
No, not at all.
For people that follow you on social media as well, you're an actor and everything, but you also are an advocate. You use your platform for a lot of different messages as well. Can you talk a little bit about that, Lonnie, as well?
Yeah, there was a video that I had put out due to the fact that people were bullying me because of my gap. I have a gap in my teeth. I don't have it anymore. I have braces now, but I used to have a gap in my teeth and I was getting bullied and I wanted to make a video about it. And I had to be encouraged to make that video because, times nowadays when people actually say stuff that's meaningful, lots of people just repost it just for clout and they just do it because other people are doing it. But
yeah,
it took me a lot of encouragement to make that video to see if people are actually going to get the message behind it.
Yeah.
So when I had posted that video, I got a lot of views and I was excited because a lot of people reached out to me and were like, you inspired me. Now I can go out and I feel free to talk freely with a gap in my mouth. I mean, a lot of people really said that I changed their lives. I just feel blessed, honestly.
And it's interesting because that video was life-changing and very emotional, had a lot of messages behind it. And then you segued to this film, The Waterman, from top to bottom. This film is inspirational, has so many messages as well. That's an interesting kind of tag team as well, Lonnie.
100%.
Which is really important. The obvious answer to this question is you hope people enjoy it, they watch it with their family. Diving deep into it a little bit more, Lonnie, when people watch The Waterman, what are you hoping they get out of it?
Well, there's honestly a lot to identify with in the movie. To identify, you obviously see the love, you see the family, you see sacrificial love, you see friendship, you see hope, you see faith in Gunner.
Yeah.
But what I hope people take away from, I hope people don't take time for granted. Honestly.
Absolutely. In This Is Us, you're part of flashback scenes. Flashbacks are pretty huge in cinema and TV and film right now. Are you noticing that flashbacks are being used a lot in TV and film right now to kind of go back that story? They're really impactful. That's an interesting kind of aspect as well.
Really impactful. It's really different than what I'm used to.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of TV shows and movies that have actually been using lots of flashbacks to portray what's been happening before that. Yeah.
Absolutely. The film Waterman, it just looks amazing. The cinematography is out of this world. When you kind of went back and saw a playback or a trailer for it, were you just blown away about how it looked, Lonnie?
I was amazed, honestly. The editors did such a good job. They made it look like I was not scared for my life when the horses were chasing me. I was so happy.
Again with the horses. It is amazing. I mentioned David and Rosario, but the rest of the cast just phenomenal as well. What was the whole experience just working with everyone involved with this project, Lonnie?
Working with Mr. David was awesome. Working with Miss Rosario was so fun. I remember in the beginning, there was a scene that we had to do where we all had to eat at the dinner table, and they had brought out Chinese food. And that is apparently, me and Miss Rosario, was like one of our most favorite foods ever. So in between every take, we would just be eating and eating and eating and eating. So the people that brought in the food, they were like, you guys slow down. We don't have that much food. But yeah, I love working with Rosario, and working with Amaya is just so fun. We would just talk about the dumbest stuff behind takes and we would laugh all the time. I swear, I've never seen three people just be so happy and so funny, and then as soon as they say action, they just go straight to character. They're true professionals.
Absolutely. This is a family film, but this is an adventure film. And that's the one thing I really enjoyed about the adventure component. You guys in the woods and everything, searching the Waterman. It's very exciting, very vibrant. A lot of things happening. Might or might not have been chased by horses. but But it's just, when you wrap this film, did you crave to work on, like you said it was challenging, but I mean, the adventure genre is a really cool genre. Did you want to work in it more?
100%. I want to work on roles definitely more like this. This role, it wasn't even only action and adventure. It was drama. It was comedy. Like, it was a little bit of every single genre inside of one, honestly. This movie was packed with everything, even tears. This movie was packed with everything. And I definitely want to work on more roles like this. Because like I said, it was challenging, but I believe that it definitely pushed beyond my limits and made me better as an actor. So yeah, I want to work on more stuff like this. I
do have a question about the samurai sword, the Japanese samurai sword. Is there anything about that? Is that a real sword? Is there a story behind that?
I have it in my room. They gave it to me. It's awesome. They gave it to me. I mean, they did glue it shut so I could open it. But yeah, it's definitely really cool. The samurai sword was that, and the other antique that Gunnar has. Those are definitely two cool props from Gunnar's life.
Amazing. Lonnie, thank you so much for coming on Popternative, man. Seriously, I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
So the film's coming out May 7th in theaters, so people are going to look forward to that. For you specifically, where could they follow you on social media to keep up to date with everything?
Lonnie Chavis on Instagram, Lonnie Chavis on Twitter, and you can go buy some of my merch if you want to.
Yeah, you have a clothing. That's another thing too. You have a clothing company as well. When did you start that venture? Very quickly.
I started that from Fix Your Heart, the video that I had put out. A lot of people were like, you should actually do some more stuff with this. And I was like, okay, why not? And what I mean by Fix Your Heart is Fix Your Heart means to have accountability to correct your own actions and be better to others and sometimes just yourself. And I wanted to make a clothing brand behind it because it's pretty cool, to be honest.
Absolutely, 100%. So yeah, when they follow you on Instagram, they could maybe see some behind the scenes, maybe the Waterman, of This Is Us, some stuff about the clothing company, maybe, or maybe not, horses.
This whole thing is about horses now.
Absolutely. Seriously, the film is amazing. Congratulations to you, the cast and crew. Thank you very much for your time, Lonnie.
Thank you so much for having me, man. I appreciate it. I honestly feel blessed.
No problem. Well, this has been Popternative. YouTube.com/Popternative. For previous episodes, you're going to be able to catch Lonnie Chavis in The Waterman May 7th in theaters. Until next time, this is Lonnie and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.